Hey, welcome to Objayda TV, and in this episode I thought I would tell you about the time that I was lucky enough to meet The Cure. The story starts back in 1981, shortly before I met Tom, at a local studio in Dorking where I used to hang out occasionally and make tea for the musicians and learn as much as I could. On this particular week, the studio owner had told me that there was a band coming in called The Cure, and they were going to be writing for their new album, Pornography. Anyway, I remember going in on the first day, and this massive truck turning up with all these flight cases with loads of strings and equipment in and guitars, and I was most impressed by that. Anyway, later on, I met the band, and I was most impressed as a young 15-year-old lad by these three chaps in all their goth gear with their black hair and their makeup and everything. Certainly had a lasting impression on me. I remember they had a French TV crew following them because The Cure were very big in France and perhaps not so big in the UK at the time. One of the first things I remember is I was playing one of my demos to the studio owner, and Robert Smith coming in and standing there and also listening very politely, bit of a smile. Probably the defining moment of this entire story, and the main reason I am telling it, is the time that Robert Smith came in and asked the studio owner where the nearest ducky was. Anyway, I was tasked with the job of showing The Cure up to the local Kentucky. So there I was, walking up to the Kentucky with Robert Smith, Simon Gallup and Lol Tolhurst in tow. feeling a million foot tall, taking them to the local Tucky. So I would like to show you a few pictures I took recently of the studio. This is the album sleeve, obviously. So here we have the reception going into Pitbrook Mill. Now no longer a recording studio, but say back in the 80s it was. We recorded some of our early demos there. That is the park. If you look on YouTube, there's a video of one of my favourite tracks from the album called The Figurehead, and at the very end of that video, which was shot by the French television company, you will see this pond frozen over. Here is the mill again from the outside with the millstones. Another view of it. Just in here, that's where the studio was. That's where The Cure wrote the album Pornography. Another angle. And then finally, yes, me and my daughter Emily there standing outside the studio today. Sadly, I don't have any photographs at all of the occasion because we didn't have mobile phones and cameras and things like we do now. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have had loads of selfies of me with Robert Smith. But there we go. Not to be. You're just going to have to take my word for it. There you go, you guys. Thank you very much.